Welcome back, everybody. This is Mac with iCCupTV bringing you another show match during the beta downtime. This matchup is between Satiini, the red Terran player, and his opponent, Socke, the blue Protoss. They are on Metalopolis, cross positions, so we have a nice large map with players nice and far away from each other, so hopefully we will get a good long match with lots of back and forth. This map is particularly popular at the moment, largely because of its size and its expansions. There are just so many that you can claim along this back line. Almost every expansion actually is further away than the previous one from your opponent. It's just these last two that are closer. And these hotly contested gold minerals in the center, very, very hard to defend, very, very hard to hold, but a good forward position to control if you can get them, especially for a Terran player. You can put siege tanks down here and here. It makes it very, very hard for a player to push you. And of course the gold, very, very nice, a quick saturated expansion for some quick income. So without further ado, here is the match. We do have motion finally from Socke. He has sent out what looks like his pylon probe to find his opponent. On a big map like this, you really need to send that probe right away, because if you don't guess the right direction right away, you will almost certainly be walled off, and it looks like this probe will be able to make it in. Satiini, meanwhile, has sent no scouting probes out, so maybe this barracks probe will, or barracks SCV will follow, but he doesn't know where his opponent is and doesn't know much about his tech. Not a huge deal against Protoss. Protoss don't really have as serious openers as other races. You know, for Zerg you need to know if he's fast expanding or if he's playing one base. Terran have all sorts of tricks up their sleeves, but Protoss tend to play very, very standard. They get that gateway down, 2 pylons. Once the gateway's down, they'll throw in a cyber core. Sometimes a zealot before the first stalker. Against Terran, usually two stalkers before any zealots. This probe does get in. He pulls out pretty quick. I guess he just saw everything he wanted to see. Maybe he's going to go camp this tower for the time being. Sees that his opponent is playing very standard with 1 gas, the early orbital command, and 1 barracks. So no Reapers, no early gas, no tech lab. So nothing imminent you need to worry about. And Satiini's soon going to arrive at his opponent's base. No wall off. The gateways are pretty far back, which is really good play against a Terran player. The instinct of a lot of mid-level players is you always want to wall off, but not against Terran, whose army is almost predominantly range. Well, exclusively range. They don't have any melee units. So if you put a choke on your base, you're actually just choking yourself, preventing yourself from getting at his units. So no wall off there, but we do have something interesting here. Never mind, it's just a pylon, nothing interesting. Production-wise, there is a factory coming down, and a little bit of fire, so this probe trying to get back into the Terran base to have a look, but unfortunately, the supply depot walls are up, and the Marines camped out, firing down anything that tries to get inside. So this factory could be just about anything, could be a stepping stone towards a starport. Most Terran players just like getting all their tech down, but we do have an early tech lab, so this is either indeed going to be siege tanks, or a traded tech lab for the starport if we're going to see a Banshee rush. Also a command center being thrown down by Satiini, so he's most likely planning to lift off. And we'll see what is Socke doing to respond. He has thrown down, this must be it here, this is the starport he's thrown down, so we could have a Void Ray rush, or maybe some Phoenix harass. We'll wait and see how that turns out. And we are getting siege tanks out of this factory with the upgrade. So siege tanks with infantry support so far from Satiini, and a fast expansion. Meanwhile, from the Protoss player, we do have standard gateway play, but we do have the added intrigue of a Stargate, so probably some early harassment coming out of Socke, and he is pressing out with 2 stalkers. I don't know how good of a scout he got off, so he might... Yeah, seeing this barracks here probably means no tech lab, but if there is a 3-rack strategy going on here, he has to find out. So putting those stalkers up here, he'll find out immediately if there are marauders. Might cost him a stalker, and he sees that no, it is pure Marines, and you can shoot those Marines. Maybe you can get a kill or 2. Unfortunately, this one gets trapped. He will get that 1 Marine. No, nice micro by Satiini to get that Marine out of firing range, and no losses from either side, though a pretty banged up stalker there. So they're going to limp away. And they have learned everything they needed to know. Satiini definitely not playing Marauders this early on. Unfortunately, I don't think they saw even the factory. No, they did get a good look. They know about this factory. Didn't see the command center, but he is aware of this tech lab, so probably is preparing for siege tanks. And a good response there for siege tanks. Socke is putting out Phoenix. So during a push, you will have Phoenix for lifting off any siege tanks, and enough of these early game, he can fly it around, pick up some SCVs, pick up siege tanks, anything that's exposed, and shoot them. Well, shoot them down is the wrong word. Shoot them up, I guess, and kill them. So good early harassment play. We'll see how that goes. We are getting the first robotics facility, which not necessarily important for Observer since he has these Phoenix, but just getting your tech buildings often not a bad idea, especially on a big map. You might need to make a transition pretty quickly, so having that infrastructure down early will help. And it is going to be 3 Phoenix moving out. This waypoint is set all the way in his opponent's base, so definitely going to be doing some solid Phoenix harass. Also getting a Twilight Council, so Socke throwing down all of his infrastructure, just opening up all of his unit options, but no expansion as of yet. So the Terran having a nice wall off here, a good second expansion up and running, so he will be able to play solidly for quite some time. So this harassment really needs to slow down the Terran saturation of these minerals. As Marines unable to chase them down, the added maneuverability of air units being able to jump up these cliffs and no missile turrets really going to let these do a lot of damage. The limiting factor will be their energy. Soon they will not be able to lift up anything. It looks like they're out already. We'll just take a look there. Yeah, one probably has enough. They're going to try to take out the siege tank, but the Marines have arrived here, and it looks like they're probably not going to get the siege tank unless he wants to lose the Phoenix. And yes, he is pulling away. 1 kill there, 2 kills there, and 1 kill. So 4 mules and SCVs taken out. Not the kind of damage that Socke needs to do this early on, but he is taking his expansion finally. Also laying down a Templar archive, so he's really grabbed every single major tech building for his army. And looking at that army tab, does have a fairly large standing army. 2 Stalkers, 6 Zealots, and 3 of these Phoenix. So the Phoenix trying again, they got some energy. They're going to pick off a couple SCVs, I guess. There goes the first one. It goes down. The Phoenix dance away from these Marines. Probably going to get a second. Now they're heading straight for this base, but there is a missile turret there, so they're going to shoot off. Unable to get more than 1 in that pass, but some good scouting and some good harass, giving Socke some very good idea of what he's up against. And since he has all these tech buildings laid down, he will have lots of options when he decides what he needs to do. Production-wise, we are seeing a Zealot speed upgrade, so that is most likely just his response to Terran bio in general. Especially with tanks, you want those Zealots up close and personal with the front line so that the siege tanks are killing their own units as well as your own. Also getting a second Nexus here from Socke, so he's trying to out-expand his opponent. He may as well. He has good containment. Terran player not moving out of his base, just enjoying this wall off, continuing to mass units, mass SCVs. Unfortunately, no real lead, just the mule advantage giving him a nice income lead. And these 3 Phoenix still probing the defenses of Satiini, getting a good look around everything important. And we are finally seeing a transition from Satiini. He now has 2 Tech Lab barracks producing Ghosts and Marauders. So there is a Ghost Academy there, and Starport with the reactor. So it looks like we'll be seeing MMM with Siege Tank support and Ghost support. A very, very solid combination against Protoss. And I'm guessing that